welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Crypto. My name's Don. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching today's video. Once again, I have another great video lined up for you today. A bit of an update from the coin project we spoke about yesterday. Why is it pumping so hard and why has it been pumping so hard? I think I have an answer to that question. Also some news regarding the potential Ripple lawsuit as well, which I'm going to cover first, just to kind of get it out the way. And yeah, like I said, plenty to get through. So sit back, relax, grab your coffee if you haven't already, and enjoy today's video. Now, first things first, as always, we look at the top 10 crypto market. Let's have a look, see. So this should be refreshed. Yes, it is. Perfect. So first things first, Bitcoin still currently sitting at just above 30,000. So it's sitting at $30,717. We then have Ethereum at 1,888. BNB at 249. We then have XRP at 47 cents. Cardano at 29 cents. Dogecoin at 0.06. And then Solana at $22. That is, and then lastly Litecoin's at $97. So yeah, bit of a mixed bag in terms of 24-hour price action. Nothing has happened, as I mentioned on yesterday's video. Literally stuck in a range for about a month now. There is nothing going on in crypto at the moment in regards to prices. It's just flat, boring. People are starting to get bored and starting to kind of look elsewhere, and it's completely normal for this to happen. So if you are that person and you are feeling a bit bored, you're not alone. Most people are. And this is when people start to drop off. And look, they regret it because we see them coming back and asking the same questions months later, if not a few weeks later. And look, I'm extremely bullish at the moment. I will get onto that why in a few moments, but I am extremely bullish on the rest of July, first and foremost, but the next few months in general, let's put it that way. But anyway, like I said, the market hasn't really moved much the past kind of month or so, and yeah, it's causing people to get bored and leave. However, they are the dumb ones. You are the smart one by watching this video, and I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes to what I think is going to happen with the market, and it's looking good. Usually I say on this channel, it's not looking good, bruv. But I'm going to change that for today's video. It is looking good, bruv. Let's move on to the first part of news, and then I'll continue on and tell you why I believe it's looking good. Now, Wi-Fi is shocking. So if this video drops, I apologize. I am recording the video at the same time, so if the live does drop, I promise I will upload it anyway. All right, but yeah, fingers crossed the Wi-Fi doesn't kind of do me dirty and cut off at any point. Anyway, first article, like I said, bit of Ripple news. I'm not going to focus too much on this because it's not directly about Ripple. It's about the Library case. That's a kind of similar setup. So bad news for Ripple. The Library judge passes ruling on its secondary crypto sales are securities. People are freaking out. People are starting to think that that means that the Ripple case is going to do the same thing and Ripple will be a security, and yeah, so on and so forth. But let me read a little kind of bit about this and then we'll move on. Like I said, don't want to put too much focus on it. So on July 11th, which was yesterday, Judge Paul Barbadado, or Barbadado, I think, is that his name? Who knows? Cool surname, regardless, of the US District Court for the New Hampshire made the ruling in the case that the SEC brought against the decentralized content platform LBRY. The ruling may have offered legal precedent to fellow District Court Judge Annalisa Torres, we all know Judge Torres, who is set to decide on the SEC's case against Ripple in coming months. Now, the Barbado, or whatever that guy's name is, he's quoted here to say that, accordingly, I take no position on whether the registration requirement applies to the secondary market offerings of LBC. A secondary market is where traders buy and sell securities, while primary market involves trading from the company issuing the security directly. And then John Deaton, we all know who John Deaton is. He obviously represents everyone in the kind of XRP world. He tweeted out saying that he contacted Borbardo, or again, whatever the guy's name is, to seek clarity and if he constituted it as a security. Apparently, he says he decided to uphold this as judicial restraint. Now, basically, to break all this down, people are, because this is quite recent and it's kind of the similar setup with XRP where it's on the secondary market and potentially a security and whatever it may be. This LBRY case has been getting watched closely by a lot of XRP holders and John Deaton as well, because it's a similar setup. Now, just because LBRY or library, whatever you want to call it, has been seen to be essentially a security on a secondary market, does not automatically mean that XRP will do the same. People have seen a lot of chat on Twitter, people thinking that it's over for XRP's lawsuit because of this. This is a very, very small case, and basically if you don't know about XRP, you probably don't know about this lawsuit. So yeah, don't let this get you down. Don't let this kind of affect your thoughts or your kind of outlook, shall we say, on the the Ripple lawsuit. That's probably the better way to put it, because it's not the same. It's not the same project, not the same company. They're not related in any way. It's just a similar type of setup with the securities and secondary market setup. However, it's got nothing to do with Ripple. So anyway, again, like I said, didn't want to spend too much focus on it, but I wanted to bring it to your attention because I've seen a lot of talk on Twitter regarding this, and it's all for Gazi. And yeah, we will move on to some, I wouldn't say better news, it's all great news, but some other news regarding, well, Cathie Wood. Do you remember Cathie Wood? She is the kind of boss man or boss lady or however she likes to be known. This woman right here, she's the kind of boss behind ARK Invest. I mentioned names actually the past week, 2 weeks, because they are also filing for an ETF, and apparently they're going to be the first to get that ETF, but let's see how it goes. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this to your attention is yesterday I mentioned about Coin, which is Coinbase's stock price, has been skyrocketing ever since the SEC sued them, which is normally the opposite of what you would think. Again, I explained yesterday that that tends to be a buy signal. If an exchange gets hacked or a project gets hacked or they get sued or whatever it may be, it's either buy the rumour, sell the news, depending on what it is, but it can also be seen as a buy signal because it's kind of, the worst has happened, it can only get better, and it looks like that is what happened with Coin. Now, anyway, let me read this because I've got a few ideas to kind of come out from this. So, pro-Bitcoin investment veteran, apparently, Cathie Wood is taking some profits from ARK Invest's large Coinbase holdings by selling a small portion of its stash. Now, Wood investment firm ARK offloaded 135,000 Coinbase shares, about $12 million worth, from one of its major exchange-traded funds, the ARK Innovation ETF. According to the trade notification seen by Cointelegraph, the amount that was sold made up 0.14% of the fund's total holdings. Now, it's mad to think that $12 million worth is only 0.14% of their actual holdings. Anyway, the sale comes as the Coinbase's stock price has sharply increased. On July 11th, the price briefly surpassed $90 from around $82 to a high of $90.9, according to TradingView, that is. Now, following Wood's sale, the stock closed at $89 on Tuesday. So Coinbase stock is up more than 60% over the past month, while the year-to-date increase is more than 140%. So Coinbase's stock price is moving like a crypto, basically, which is, well, I mentioned this yesterday, it's not something you normally see in the stock world, but I think because it's tied to Coinbase, and Coinbase are obviously who Coinbase are, they're the biggest kind of and well-known exchange, they are gaining traction and they are performing like an actual crypto project. Now, the new sale by ARK is the second time that Wood has taken profits from Coinbase shares this year. On March 21st, the company sold 160,000 worth of Coinbase shares, and that was worth around 13.5 million at the time. So it's funny, why is she taking out, it seems to be, it says here as well, roughly $84 a share. So she's kind of, her sell targets are about 85, 84 till about $90. Wonder why she's doing that. Again, watch what they do with their money, not what they say with their money. Is there a reason why she's deciding to sell up at these prices? Interesting. Anyway, before taking fresh profits from ARK's coin holdings, Wood has been actively accumulating stock in multiple ARK's funds, and in June alone, ARK purchased around $40 million in Coinbase shares. Previously, the investment firm bought around $33 million in Coinbase shares in May and April, as well as $117 million worth of Coinbase shares in March. Wow. Now, the reason... Okay, let me just get into it. Rather than kind of reading any more and reading more of this article, let me just get into why I think it's all kicking off at Coin. So, I guess the next article that I'm going to cover in a few minutes will maybe back up and help this point, right? But anyway, you remember that this past month, June it would have been because we're now in July, but throughout June, bit of a mad month, right? We all know that. Things were getting sued left, right and centre. It was a bit of a mad start to the month. Then we had all the ETF news came out and the prices were pumping. It was just, like I said, June was chaotic, which is not normally what we see in a summer period in crypto. But we did see it. It was great. We're still enjoying part of that, even though the prices are sideways. But that's fine. I'll get to that. So the ETFs all get filed early, kind of mid-time, late June. Then within a few days, they were all... not declined. Everyone again on Twitter, they're declined, it's over, the ETFs have been disapproved, blah, blah, blah. That was absolute BS because all that happened was they had to refile them and just state a few kind of extra details. And the main detail that had to be filed was what exchange will you be kind of partnering with or using as your base for the Bitcoin. So everyone has refiled and they're all pretty much going with Coinbase, as far as I'm aware. Is that by chance that they're all refiling with Coinbase, and then the Coinbase price chart is pumping before any type of approval, any type of real confirmation from the ETF? I don't know. I'm just telling you what I see. I'm just letting what's happening up here, which is I'm pointing to my head. For anyone that's not watching the video, I'm pointing to my brain, my head. So what's happening up here is just coming out my mouth. So whether it's true or not, whether it's speculation or not, that's just what I'm thinking. It's just a bit, again, I don't buy into the nonsense in the news articles and the timing and all that kind of stuff that just happens to come out of it. Obviously, I get it. Charts are the main driving force here. But coin stock happened to be pretty, not rubbish, but it was down quite low for a while. And actually, Deck mentioned this, I can't remember when it was, maybe a month or so ago, maybe a couple of months again, can't remember exactly, but about Coin, and he thought it had bottomed out. And well, looking back at that tweet, if we can find it again, Deck, if you're watching this, if you can confirm what I'm saying, but there was something around a few months ago where Coin was looking a bit kind of down and out, shall we say. And not me, Deck had mentioned about kind of it could be the bottom. Now that looks to be like the bottom was in, and then the price has continued to uptrend since then. Bit of consolidation over kind of the past week or so, but previously to that, again, this chart that I've got in front is only like a kind of, is it a 4 hourly or something, or a daily chart. So it's not the best chart, but if you are to zoom out and look back further on that, you'll see that it has continually been an uptrend until the past few weeks. We have seen the refiling of the ETFs, and it's going crazy, basically. So that's my point I wanted to make. Again, the next article I'm about to cover will help kind of back that point up. But yeah, it's a bit funny that Coinbase's stock is rallying 140% year to date, 60% in the past month, and everyone is refiling for their ETFs using Coinbase. It's funny that, isn't it? Anyway, moving on to the ETF news, just to kind of follow up on that then. So, CBOE refiles 5 Bitcoin ETFs to include Coinbase surveillance agreements. So, The exchange operator CBOE Global Markets has amended 5 spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds applications to include a surveillance sharing agreement, also known as an SSA, with Coinbase. Now, the amended filings with the US SEC for the ETFs from Invesco, VanEck, WisdomTree, Fidelity, and a joint fund by ARK Invest and 21 Shares. Again, I don't believe there's any relation to 21 Savage, but yeah, 21 Shares are also a huge kind of asset management company who are applying for an ETF. Now, CBOE said it had reached an agreement on terms with Coinbase to enter into the SSAs, which were settled on June 21st. The initial filings for the ETF stated that the parties were expecting to enter an SSA prior to potentially offering the ETFs. Now, the SSAs are an attempt to meet the SEC standards aimed at preventing fraudulent conduct and protecting investors, as outlined by the regulator on March 10th. Now, I always love how the SEC always say we're trying to protect investors when we all know that is absolute garbage. But anyway, an exchange needs a comprehensive surveillance sharing agreement with a regulated market of significant size related to the underlying or reference Bitcoin assets. Again, this is quoted from the SEC back in March. Spot Bitcoin ETF applications have been a focus point for the industry lately. The filings by Fidelity, Invesco, WisdomTree, and Valkyrie follow the $10 trillion asset management firm BlackRock, which also filed for an ETF for SEC approval. Now, I don't think they're actually worth 10 million. I think it's 9 point something. So, look, I'm just telling you the truth, right? I'm pointing out the facts here. The fact that it's even that kind of number is ridiculous. Again, I covered this. I think it was Monday or Tuesday I covered this. Oh, well, what day are we on today? Is it Wednesday? So, yeah, I think it was Monday's video. Who am I looking for again? BlackRock. Sorry, I went blank there. BlackRock is worth they have assets under management. That's a better way of putting it. They have almost 10 trillion, so trillion with a T, capital T, trillion, under management. And they are pro-bullish. Pro-bullish? That's not what I'm looking for. They are bullish and they're pro-Bitcoin. So, yeah. You see my kind of point here. There's how many did I mention there? 5 or 6 maybe? Invesco. Go Google these companies as well. After this video, go Google Invesco, go Google VanEck, WisdomTree, Fidelity, ARK Invest, and 21 Shares. Go investigate. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Go investigate those companies. Even if it's on Wikipedia, just go check them out and you'll see. So in fact, you know what? Here's a task. I've got a task for the viewers of today's video. Go out and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And do you know what? Add in BlackRock, so 7. Go Google the 7 companies. Pause this video, write them down. Go Google the 7 companies and add up how much assets under management they all have, and then comment below, please. Because I want to know the answer, but I am not going to go Google for them because I'm busy. I'm doing a video. So yeah, if someone can do it right now before the end of the video and let me know how many assets under management these 7 companies have, I'll give you a massive thanks. How's that? Anyway, the point of this, again, goes back to kind of my rants that I like to go off on. Depending on what that number is, right, it's probably going to be about 20 trillion, I think. I don't know. But it's going to be multiple tens of trillions, at least, under management. And they're all companies that want to get involved in Bitcoin. The Bitcoin kind of market cap at the moment is just over $500 million. The total market cap of crypto in general is about 1.1. In fact, let me get the exact number right now. I think it's 1.13 or something. I'm forgetting how bad my Wi-Fi is. It's going to take ages. Sorry, it's 1.2. There we go. So the current market cap of the whole of crypto is $1.2 trillion. And the market cap of Bitcoin alone is it was almost 600 billion, right? So you think if even 1% of that 20 trillion comes in to the crypto market, which probably makes more sense. I would say minimum 1% of that 20 trillion or whatever the number is will come into the market. because they all want to get the ETF approved. Now, there's no guarantee they'll all get approved, right? But I'm assuming one or two at least will get approved. Say a mere $10 million under management gets approved. If 1% of that adds to Bitcoin alone, so no other crypto assets, adds to Bitcoin alone, do you not think that the price of Bitcoin will probably skyrocket? Again, going back to the kind of basics of Bitcoin, it's supply and demand. The lower the supply, the higher the demand, the price rockets. It's, again, seems pretty self-explanatory, but for whatever reason, people don't understand that and they decide to just leave crypto and Bitcoin because it's boring. These people don't make sense to me, and if you are that person, you do not make sense to me. I suggest you, again, like I used to say in some of these videos, go sit in a dark room and contemplate your asset kind of investment strategy. No, I'm joking, right? But in all seriousness, again, I make this point quite often, and I think I'm going to have to make it more often than not. And it's not until prices really start skyrocketing that I will make sense. So if you're watching this and you think I'm just a crazy guy who is on meds, chatting absolute nonsense, and I'm just like wired to the crypto moon, I mean, technically 90% of that is true, but it will become facts in a week, 2, 3, couple weeks time, or even a month or so's time, maybe a year's time. It doesn't matter. The main point is I'm from the future and I know what. I'm joking. Can you imagine that? Imagine I could predict the actual price of Bitcoin and come back and tell you. But I can see what's going to happen. I've been here, done there. That's not the saying, is it? Been there, done that with this crypto market for almost 7 years now. I've experienced it all, the highs, the lows, the upsets, the long nights, the early mornings. And I'm more bullish than ever. Like, it's insane how things are looking right now compared to what the bear market was like in 2018, 2019 into 2020. This feels like a bull market because of the news that's coming out, and people are still confused and bearish on crypto in general. Now look, I get it, disbelief's a thing and emotions run high, and there's a lot of emotions to feel in crypto. However, that's a very short-term mindset in my opinion. I don't care what's happening this year, next year, or the next year after that. Well, I say that, obviously I want there to be a massive spike in price, but the thing is, I know it's coming. So all I'm doing is spending each day talking about crypto, spreading the word of crypto each and every single day, getting closer and closer and closer to the inevitable that I know is coming. You know it as well, but you're just scared to admit it, and you think that by changing your kind of views on crypto, or maybe giving it a buy for 6 months, means that when it comes all great again, that it will just, I don't know, you just become like this genius in the crypto space. I can assure you, you won't. Why do these videos always turn out to be some sort of like rant and me just like coming after people? I'm a nice guy. I really want to help people understand. I really want to help people make money in crypto. That's the biggest thing. And as I said yesterday, I don't make money from you making money in your investments. That's not my thing. I just want you to make the money because I've done it, I've seen it, and it's a cool experience. And I would love for you, the stranger watching this video, to do the same. Anyway, I'm going to try and pause my rant there and move on to a couple of tweets before we finish up for today's video. Now, again, it's not quite ETF news, but you may have heard of Vanguard. I'm assuming most of you have. A lot of people I know, and maybe yourself, use Vanguard as their investment kind of vehicle for the kind of common stocks and whatever. Anyway, $7.2 trillion asset manager Vanguard now owns $560 million worth of Bitcoin mining stocks. Now, if you didn't know, you can invest in mining companies. So if you don't want to get really exposed to actual Bitcoin itself, which some of these companies won't do until there's an ETF, again, the importance of an ETF is proven here. Anyway, Vanguard now owns $560 million worth of Bitcoin mining stocks. Fantastic. That's all I want to say on that. Fantastic. And if you don't know who Vanguard is, I mean, I think they don't really need an introduction, do they, really? When they manage $7.2 trillion worth of assets. And it's when you see these numbers, right? And has anyone got that number for me yet? Has anyone done the task that I've asked? Those 7 companies applied for the ETFs, that's just 7 companies out of how many are there in the world? Thousands, tens of thousands of companies in the world. 7 of them have under management about 20 trillion. Again, I don't know what the number is, but I'm guessing it's 20 trillion or above. There's another company to add in. So there's 8 companies. Now we're almost at $30 trillion just between 8 companies that hold assets for people. We go on about crypto making people loads of money, and there's so much money flowing into the market and it's going to pump the prices and blah, blah, blah. At the peak of the bull market in 2021, the whole of crypto was only worth 3 trillion. That was it. And everyone was rich and altcoins were crazy, Bitcoin was crazy, everything was crazy. But when you start comparing crypto to pretty much any other asset class, it's minuscule. It is literally the smallest of its kind. It's crazy. It's got the best technology, some of the largest communities behind it, some of the most smartest and clued up people in the world and in fintech are all working on crypto. But yet it's the smallest minuscule part of investing, and yet you don't think that it's a great thing to get behind and a great thing to invest in or to learn about and whatever it may be. Again, if you know better than me, that's fine. But I bring back the point that there's almost $30 trillion of assets under management just between 8 companies in the world. Imagine 1% of that. Imagine 0.5. Imagine 0.5% of $30 trillion flows into Bitcoin. It's going to be nuts, and it's going to happen. So it's like, are you going to get involved now before it happens, or are you going to get involved when it happens? Because probably you're going to get involved when it happens, because that's how humans seem to work, which is, yeah, anyway. Next article coming up soon. So, another one. Again, I kind of mentioned this already, but I wanted just to back up the point. All 5 of the CBOE's spot Bitcoin ETF applications have reached surveillance sharing agreements with Coinbase. Now, all eyes are on the SEC, but I don't think the SEC will do anything until February of 2024. Let's see what happens, shall we? And then the last one, just to finish up, this Wi-Fi is terrible. So this is, again, quite an interesting one, and some of you might not pay attention to on-chain stuff. I really like on-chain data. But anyway, this part here, it says, while it's true that miners have been moving coins to exchanges, the net flow, including outflows, looks fine and actually shows net outflows from exchanges. So again, people are worrying that there's a lot of movement in Bitcoin from miners moving it from onto exchanges or off from exchanges, whatever it may be. Usually when you see them moving it onto exchanges, it means there's going to be a sell-off. And if they're removing it from exchanges, they're kind of keeping it for the long term. So there has been a lot of focus or a lot of talk of flows. So people are thinking, oh, there's a dump coming. But actually, the on-chain data still shows that there's still been more outflows than inflows. Okay, so that means they're putting them out of exchanges into cold storage rather than from cold storage to exchanges. So it's actually the reverse of what everyone thinks. It's actually doing the opposite, which is very typical of crypto. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to show you that in case you've seen something about on-chain and you follow on-chain analysis. Actually, there is still a massive outflow, which is, it's actually quite a good thing. So anyway, that was all I wanted to cover on the on-chain data. Hopefully you quite enjoy that stuff, because I really do. And that's all for my video today. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please drop a like on today's video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Quite strange if you watch these every day and you don't subscribe to the channel. Interesting. But anyway, subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell, which is the post notifications. I go live every kind of morning about 9:30 AM UK time, Monday through Friday. So please join me every single day for more of these rants and news articles that you'll get from me, and a little bit of mindset. We'll call it mindset, but I think it's more me telling you what to do with your life rather than trying to help your mindset. But look, that's the way it goes. Now, Anyway, like I said, thanks so much for tuning in and watching today's video. Share it with a friend who has not seen any of these videos. I'm sure I can help them out somehow. If you want anything more from myself or from any guys on the team, please join our Discord. It's right in front of you, right here. It's called Certified Crypto. We have a 3-tiered program which you can see on your screen. There's a link today, obviously, in the description. And yeah, join in the fun. There's over 2,000 active members and there's a huge chat room which it goes off sometimes in there and it's really, really enjoyable. So yeah, jump in and we shall chat after today's video. But anyway, enough from me. I always take ages to round these videos up. I will see you tomorrow for another episode of Coffee and Crypto. I have no mug. I have no coffee in my mug, but tomorrow I shall. Hope you have a great day. See you very, very soon. See ya.